from the Islamic House of Wisdom, Imam Elahi, and Fox News contributor and pastor, Dr. Robert Jeffress. Dr. Jeffress, let's go back to Brussels. Again, the president is also asking that and insisting we take in more Syrian refugees that our intelligence community has said will be infiltrated by enemies of America, ISIS, and others. So he wants to take them in and gamble with the lives of the American people. So he's sucking up and getting lectured by Raul Castro, a murdering thug dictator, and he's doing the wave. Again, right after Brussels, all these people killed, including Americans, he's doing the wave, and then, of course, he heads on off to Argentina, and he starts doing the tango. Hardly the response you would expect from the leader of the free world in light of all the terrorism. He wants to double down on the mistakes of Paris and Brussels. Why?
Look, here's what's going on. Once again, on the heels of a horrific terror attack, you have the president assuming his favorite role of defender-in-chief of Islam. It is time for this president and others to wake up to the fact of whether we're talking about Paris, Pakistan, Brussels, or San Bernardino. All of these attacks share one common denominator. They were not committed by Jews or Hindus or Episcopalians. They were committed by radical Islamic terrorists. And Sean, by this president's unwillingness to admit that and denying it and demonizing the rest of us who make that connection, it's not only shameful, he is endangering the future security of our country.
Here's a simple question. I'd like a simple answer. Are radical Islamists evil, and are they a clear and present danger to the free world?
First, Sean, and also honorable guest, Pastor Jeffress, please stop saying radical Islam. It is either radical or Islam, but can't be both. Islamic radicalism is a big lie.
You're not answering my question.
And all due to our guests. This is not evil. Yes, ISIS is evil. Islam is not evil. Evil is ignorance. Evil is injustice.
Let me
evil
ask the
is
question.
prejudice.
But wait a minute,
evil
sir,
is racism.
Sir, wait a minute.
And what?
Wait a minute. You're not answering my question.
I answer your question if you give me time.
There are people in the name of your religion that strap bombs, and very comfortable strapping bombs on their own children and hijacking airplanes and telling people that if they kill innocent men, women, and children in the name of Allah, that Allah will reward them with 72 virgins. It's done in the name of your religion. I will ask my simple question again. Is radical Islamists evil, and are they a clear and present danger to the world? Yes or no?
Radical Islam is evil because they are not Islamic. When I receive a letter from KKK, they threaten me to death. I don't consider them representative of Christianity. So you cannot, consider ISIS representative of Christianity.
KKK is evil. I agree. I think they're evil, and they've committed acts of evil in the past. But the problem is we have this worldwide threat. Now, why should the United States, when every intelligence leader we have in this country, take in refugees from Syria when we're told that the refugee population will be infiltrated by radical Islamists and ISIS? Isn't that risking the lives of the American people needlessly?
It is risky to take the terrorists, not the innocent refugees. Look at the
how do you ascertain the difference? How do you ascertain the difference?
What the Pope said and what the Pope did about those refugees.
Okay, I'm not talking about the Pope.
That should be our path.
How do you ascertain the difference?
When I listen to Ted, the tone of their talk is a great gift to the ISIS.
I'll answer the question because you won't answer.
When they talk about refugees...
Pastor Jeffress, the answer is yes. It's difficult to ascertain what's in somebody's heart, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. And let me answer what the Imam said about the KKK. Here's why you can't tie it to Christianity. You can't find one verse in the New Testament that says, kill unbelievers. Jesus, the founder of our faith, didn't kill anybody. He was crucified. But you look in the Quran, you can find 35 sword verses. Muhammad was nothing but a bloodthirsty warlord who beheaded 600 Jews who would not follow him in the battle.
True,
and I know
Pastor.
everybody doesn't like what Donald Trump says, but Donald Trump was right when he said there is something within Islam itself that causes its followers to hate us. Not all Islamics are certainly terrorists. Only 5% are. But 5% of 1.5 billion people is 75 million radical Muslims in the world. How did so many people get their religion wrong? That's the question. You don't have 100 million radical Christians in the world today. There are 2.2 billion Christians in the world. You don't have 5%, 100 million Christians wanting to chop people's heads off and burn them alive. There is something terribly wrong here.
What about those Christians who, in the name of Jesus, they bombed the hospital and killed the doctors, and they call it Bible? So that's not true.
Do you know how many people were killed in abortion bombings by so-called Christians? A grand total of 8. That's not even a good half hour's work for a Muslim terrorist.
Do you know how many Muslims were killed by ISIS, which was supported by the Saudis, who are supported by the United States?
You're exactly right, Imam. Radical Muslims not only hate Jews and Christians, they hate moderate Muslims who won't follow them into battle as well. I certainly agree with you about that.
All right, guys, we're going to have to end it there.
Muslim if they are radical. That is not true.
Yes, it is true. Radical Islamists exist, and they kill in the name of Allah.
In the Quran
and they're hijacking your religion.
One verse from the Quran that tells to kill the innocent. Yeah, if
wait
you
a minute.
go
And the
by
Quran, the one that says, take neither Christians nor Jews for your friends?
Talking about the stoning and the crimes condemned by death. So if you go by the text,
they're following Muhammad is what they're doing. They're following his example.
We got to leave.